Isn't it a glorious day for being out in the garden? The scent of the earth, the gentle breeze rustling the leaves, it's enough to soothe even the most troubled soul. And speaking of soothing, today we're going to talk about a gentler, more natural way to garden, without relying on harsh chemicals. You see, for years now, I've been passionate about working with nature, not against it. It's all about creating a healthy ecosystem in our gardens that not only benefits our plants but also the bees, the butterflies, the birds, and the hedgehogs, all those wonderful creatures that make our outdoor spaces so vibrant. So, if you're ready to ditch the chemicals and embrace a more organic approach, settle in and let's explore the secrets to growing healthy, thriving plants the natural way. Now, before we even think about sowing seeds or planting out, we need to start right at the very heart of it all, the soil. Just like we need good, nutritious food to thrive, so do our plants. And that's where compost comes in. Think of compost as a gardener's best friend, a magic potion for your plants. It's brimming with all the essential nutrients they need to grow strong and healthy. And the best part is, it's completely natural and incredibly easy to make yourself. All those kitchen scraps you usually throw away, vegetable peelings, eggshells, coffee grounds, they're all welcome additions to your compost heap. Then there's the garden waste, grass clippings, leaves, pruned stems. Anything that was once living can be recycled back into this nutrient-rich feast for your garden. Start with a good mix of greens and browns. Your greens are the nitrogen-rich materials, things like your kitchen scraps and grass clippings. Your browns are the carbon-rich materials, things like shredded paper, cardboard, and dry leaves. Layer them up like a delicious lasagna, turning the heap every now and then to keep the air flowing. And in a few short months, you'll have a treasure trove of gardener's gold ready to nourish your plants. Compost helps to improve both sandy and clay soils. It helps sandy soil retain moisture and nutrients, and it helps to break up heavy clay soil, making it lighter and more workable. It's a win-win all round. Now let's move on to another crucial element of chemical-free gardening, watering. It might sound simple enough, but there's a bit more to it than just drenching your plants every now and then. Overwatering can be just as detrimental as underwatering, leading to root rot and other problems. The key is to water deeply and less frequently. This encourages the roots to grow deeper into the soil, making them stronger and more resilient. A good soak once or twice a week is usually sufficient, but always check the soil moisture before you reach for the watering can. A simple finger test will do the trick. Just poke your finger about an inch into the soil. If it feels dry, it's time for a good watering. If it still feels damp, hold off for a bit longer. Watering in the morning allows the plants to absorb the moisture throughout the day, and any excess water on the leaves has a chance to dry before nightfall, reducing the risk of fungal diseases. Try to avoid wetting the foliage when you water. Direct the water towards the base of the plant, where the roots can access it directly. Rainwater harvesting is a wonderful way to conserve water, and it's incredibly beneficial for your plants. Rainwater is naturally soft and slightly acidic, which makes it easier for plants to absorb nutrients. Now let's delve into one of my favorite aspects of organic gardening, companion planting. It's a fascinating subject, really, all about understanding the relationships between different plants and how they can work together to create a thriving ecosystem. By carefully choosing which plants to grow together, we can harness their natural strengths to deter pests, attract beneficial insects, and even improve the growth and flavor of our crops. Take marigolds, for example. These cheerful flowers are like the guardians of the garden, repelling a whole host of pests, including nematodes, those pesky little creatures that can wreak havoc on your vegetable patch. Plant marigolds alongside your tomatoes, peppers, and other susceptible crops, and you'll be amazed at the difference they make. Then there's basil, the king of herbs. Not only does basil add a delicious flavor to our dishes, but it's also a fantastic companion plant for tomatoes. It deters whiteflies, aphids, and tomato hornworms, and some gardeners even claim that it improves the flavor of the tomatoes themselves. Another classic pairing is carrots and onions. Onions release a pungent odor that deters carrot root flies, while carrots, in turn, deter onion flies. Some plants can actually improve the growth and flavor of their neighbors. For instance, planting chamomile near your herbs can enhance their essential oil content, making them even more fragrant and flavorful. Do a bit of research and see which plants make good companions. You'll be amazed at the difference it can make to the health and productivity of your garden. Now, let's talk about those pesky critters that like to munch on our plants. It's inevitable, really. Where there are plants, there will be insects. But that doesn't mean we have to resort to chemical warfare to keep them at bay. Remember, we're aiming to create a balanced ecosystem in our gardens, and that means welcoming the beneficial insects, those tiny creatures that help to keep the pest populations in check. Ladybugs, for example, are voracious predators of aphids, those tiny green or black insects that love to suck the sap from our plants. Encourage ladybugs to visit your garden by planting flowers that they find irresistible, like calendula, dill, and yarrow. You can even buy ladybug larvae online or from local nurseries in some areas and release them into your garden. Another beneficial insect is the lacewing. Lacewing larvae are like tiny alligators with insatiable appetites for aphids, mites, and other soft-bodied pests. Attract lacewings to your garden by planting flowers like cosmos, coreopsis, and sunflowers. If you do find yourself battling a particularly persistent pest, there are plenty of natural remedies you can try before reaching for the chemical sprays. Neem oil, for example, is a fantastic all-natural insecticide, fungicide, and miticide. Another effective natural remedy is garlic spray. Simply crush a few cloves of garlic into a spray bottle filled with water, let it steep overnight, and then strain it into a clean spray bottle. Keep your garden clean and tidy, remove any diseased or infested plant material promptly, and rotate your crops regularly to disrupt pest life cycles. Now let's talk about one of my absolute favorite gardening techniques, mulching. It's like tucking your plants in with a cozy blanket, protecting them from the elements and providing a whole host of benefits. Think of mulch as a gardener's best friend. It helps to suppress weeds, conserve moisture, regulate soil temperature, and as it breaks down, it adds valuable nutrients back into the soil. There are all sorts of different materials you can use for mulch, but my preference is always for organic mulches like shredded bark, wood chips, well-rotted manure, or garden compost. These materials break down slowly, releasing nutrients into the soil as they decompose. Spread a thick layer of mulch around your plants, leaving a gap around the base of the stem to prevent rot. Aim for a depth of about 2 to 4 inches, depending on the type of mulch you're using. Mulch helps to suppress weeds by blocking out the light they need to germinate, meaning less time spent weeding for you. Mulch also acts like a sponge, absorbing rainfall and releasing it slowly into the soil, which means you'll need to water less often. And as if that weren't enough, mulch also helps to regulate soil temperature, keeping the roots cool in summer and warm in winter. This is particularly important for delicate plants that are sensitive to temperature fluctuations. Now, just like we need a bit of a trim now and then to keep ourselves looking our best, so do our plants. Regular pruning and maintenance are essential for healthy growth, encouraging bushier plants, more flowers, and a bountiful harvest. Think of it like giving your plants a bit of a haircut, removing any dead, diseased, or damaged stems and leaves. This helps to redirect the plant's energy towards new growth, resulting in healthier, more vigorous plants. The best time to prune varies depending on the type of plant, so it's always a good idea to do a bit of research beforehand. As a general rule of thumb, prune spring flowering shrubs after they've finished blooming, and prune summer flowering shrubs in late winter or early spring before new growth begins. When pruning, always use sharp, clean tools to prevent the spread of diseases. Make clean cuts just above a leaf node, which is where a leaf or branch emerges from the stem. This encourages the plant to branch out and become bushier. Deadheading is another important aspect of plant maintenance. This simply involves removing the spent flower heads, which prevents the plant from putting its energy into seed production and encourages it to produce more flowers. And there you have it, the secrets to growing healthy, thriving plants without relying on harsh chemicals. Remember, gardening is a journey, not a destination. It's about embracing the rhythms of nature, learning from our successes and failures, and most importantly, enjoying the process. And here's the real secret sauce. Every thriving garden needs a generous sprinkle of love, and maybe a pep talk or two for those stubborn seedlings. So, roll up those sleeves, get your hands gloriously dirty, and let your green thumb shine. Got a quirky garden hack or a tip that makes your plants do a happy dance? Share it with us using #Rhokins Homestead on your favorite social media. If you had fun and learned something new, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell, because the garden party is just getting started. Thanks for hanging out with me at Rhokins Homestead, your go-to spot for all things green and growing. Let's dig in and grow together. Happy gardening!